That's what we do. And let's go with the quarterback situation. Okay. But not just the guys on the roster now. All-time quarterbacks from these teams. Okay. If you could see Mark Rippon, if you could see Doug Williams, you might see Bledsoe and Brady in there. That is what we're doing.
Oh, boy.
Washington quarterbacks, New England quarterbacks, and then something we call the mixed bag, which is kind of an interesting part of this game that, I don't know, we'll get to.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that one.
You can. We could mix it up.
Anybody can pick whatever they want. That's how the game works.
Choice.
It's fine.
Nate, up to you. Washington?
Yeah.
New England? Or this weird mixed bag thing.
I'm really intrigued by this mixed bag.
Me too.
I don't know what's in it. What's in it? It's crazy.
You never know.
I don't know what she's doing up there. I'll go to Washington quarterbacks.
Washington quarterbacks. Nate, 2007, you were in the league. You were a star wide receiver. You were a return man. But over in Washington, they had this amazing turnaround season. They had a guy come in at 6-7 who rattled off 3 straight wins to make the playoffs in December. He was the offensive player of the month in the NFL in 2000, December. 2007, sorry. Was it A, Jason Campbell? Was it B, Todd Collins? Was it C, Rex Grossman? Or was it D, the guy whose name we were talking about in the commercial break, Colt McCoy?
Did you slide that in there? Because we were just talking about Colt McCoy.
All right, so my fond memories of Rex Grossman are in a Bears uniform.
Yeah, mine aren't.
Colt McCoy, I do remember him. I don't think it was 07. It's between A and B. Just for me, I'm trying to figure out who was the starter.
Rex was Jason Campbell. Rex was in Washington for a long time.
I know, my memories of him are in Chicago is what I'm saying. So I feel like in 07, he wasn't there.
I stepped on your answer. You said B?
I said A.
You said A.
Jason Campbell. I remember Jason Campbell balling out for some reason and having like just a run. And he's big, strong, so it kind of solidified what people thought he could be. And then I'm not sure what happened after that, but I'm going with A.
All right. So on December 6th of that year, Jason Campbell was the starter, went down with an injury. Todd Collins was signed, the great Michigan Wolverine. Rattles off 3 straight wins over the year, and they go from 6-7
It got hot.
to 9-7.
Oh.
They go to the playoffs. They end up losing to the Seahawks in the wild card round. Collins would actually throw 2 pick-sixes in the game. Let's not knock Todd Collins. He's the winner here. Todd Collins had a moment that was Chris Cooley you just saw making a touchdown pass.
I think Santana Moss is out there.
And then who's that? Is that Santana Moss?
Yeah.
That's Santana Moss.
Peter, this was the Sean Taylor Memorial season. A lot of cool stuff going on with Washington this year. It was, in the most positive way, I mean.
It was. He would be the NFL's Offensive Player of the Week honors for coming off the bench and beating the Bears. And they would be the Player of the Month. An unbelievable year. He always would back up Jason Campbell after that. But you had it right with Jason Campbell, but it was when he went down, it was Todd Collins. So
my years with Jason Campbell were the Raiders years.
Raiders years?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Makes sense.
Those are rough years.
Those are rough years.
Not a lot of television shows are doing Todd Collins talk this morning. So, Kay, where would you like to go? Which team?
I don't know. Mixed bag actually sounds really good. I might go with that. No, I'll go New England quarterbacks. Thank you, Peter.
Okay. All right. New England
That's how the show works. You can pick anyone you want, right?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Which of the following current NFL head or assistant coaches was once a New England Patriots quarterback?
Oh, Peter.
A, Kyle Shanahan. B, Cliff Kingsbury. C, Byron Leftwich.
Man.
Or D, Anthony Lynn.
I really want to go through like a whole, I don't know, thing, but Peter, I think you went on vacation, you're back, you're rested, and we're like, I'm going to be so nice to Kay with this softball answer. It is, of course, Cliff Kingsbury, B, who posed in a picture with Tom Brady and Mike Tyson at some point recently. It made me wonder, what happened there? And I know he was a quarterback after Brady was drafted, like a couple of years after.
Can I double down and give you another question? What current Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback was once a Patriots quarterback?
I don't know. That's really tough. I don't know. I should have picked the mixed bag trivia. Am I right?
You are right. It's Cliff Kingsbury. One of the reasons we went with this maybe too easy question was we have footage of it.
That's the reason.
We wanted some footage of Cliff.
Look at this kid.
This is 2004. That was a Mike Cloud highlight up top there from CBS folks. That's Cliff Kingsbury throwing a pass to, I believe, was it Ben Watson? Yeah. Kingsbury was a 6th-round pick. It's in preseason. He would get in just hitting Ben Watson over the middle.
I know, it's crazy.
Look at Kingsbury, number 16.
Go, Cliff. Oh, okay, Cliff.
Slide. Good against the Panthers. I mean, okay, it was too easy.
Go, Cliff, let it go.
Watch our show, you know he was...
I don't know why that picture came. It's him, Brady, Tyson at the Preakness.
At the Preakness, you're right.
Great
picture.
Great picture.
All right.
Iconic pictures. That was all I wanted.
Pick and move, I guess, Cliff. I don't remember that. Wow. All right.
I was given phone breaks in the desert.
There you go.
What am I left with? I have to mix
bags. Anything.
Oh, so sorry.
Mixed bag, whatever topic you have, Peter, just give me something crazy.
Okay.
All right.
Nate Burleson was on the CBS morning show this morning. Would he start with cicada talk?
Okay.
Or would he start with schools and masks? Where would you go, Nate?
Great.
You got to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick instead. Today, Kyle, what do you want to talk about? Mixed bag.
Whatever's in the mixed bag.
Let's go.
Yeah, what do we got?
Let's see it. The last time Washington won a Super Bowl was January 26, 1992. The following Saturday Night Live episode, the host and the musical guests were whom? Susan Day and CNC Music Factory. That's a big laugh. Roseanne and Tom Arnold and Garbage. Jim Carrey and Motorhead. I was trying to get that umlaut in there, but it didn't work with the font.
Both of them.
Yeah. Paul Rudd and Annie Lennox, who was just smashing broken glass those days.
All right. I love Annie Lennox, who doesn't, but I don't think it's them. Let me jump up to A.
Kyle, you never got this right.
I always know the football ones. I never know this one.
92 is the...
All right. Susan Day, this is after that sort of LA Law hot run, so I think Susan Day's out because LA Law was 80s.
Partridge Family.
70s. All right. Now, Roseanne and Tom Arnold's interesting. My memories of Tom Arnold on the show are Chris Farley playing Tom Arnold, so I don't think Roseanne and Tom Arnold hosted. That would bring me to Jim Carrey and Motorhead. Jim Carrey was getting hot then, but 92, I think Ace Ventura was 93.
I think Jim Carrey might have been on another rival show.
Oh, yeah, Peter, thanks for the help there. All right, so I'm left with very few choices.
Can I give you
Yeah, jump in here.
The height of garbage was the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Oh, great.
Was that 2002, 1990?
Yeah, this is much later. It's mid-90s. I'm only happy when it rains had not happened yet.
Yes.
So, Peter, I think you're messing with me, and I'm going to go Paul Rudd, Annie Lennox. I'm going to guess that you finally pulled the rug out.
We're walking on broken glass, and yet it's not. Susan Day. Final season of LA Law. Final season of LA Law.
Final season.
92, the season finale. Susan Day comes off. She starts off the show appearing on a sketch, the Rich Meister and LA Law characters.
Okay.
And then, the Rich Meister, like, hey.
Making copies. The Harry Hamlin, the Haminator.
And then CNC Music Factory rolls out, and they're doing music, and it's Here We Go, Let's Rock and Roll, and Gonna Make You Sweat.
Wow. You know what? This is one of these things that make you go,
That's it.
That's amazing. Susan Day. Not Harry Hamlin, not Smiths. Wow. All right, Susan Day.
The Paul Rudd answer? Like, what are we doing?
Because last time we played the game, somebody at the table said, one of these times Peter's going to do the Paul Rudd answer for real. So I thought this was the time. But doesn't Paul Rudd only host when it's massive acts like Beyonce?
One Direction.
It's like massive. So with due respect to Annie Lennox, Paul Rudd only hosts.
I like the one Harry Hamlin and Jimmy Smith's, not Corbin Burnson. Let's go here with Washington video clue. All right, before we get to the video, it's a great movie. The
Dentist. A whole series was called The Dentist.
Not The Dentist.
Evil Dentist. So terrible.
Terrifying.
Wrecked havoc.
He would just gas people.
All right, Washington. I think it was only on HBO, too. I don't think it was like a theater.
No.
Washington has had a lot of great quarterbacks in its history. Doug Williams is one of them. He won Super Bowl 22 over John Elway's Broncos. It's absolutely legendary. Yeah. That was the time that he was in the Super Bowl, and he, of course, would win the NFC Championship game to the Vikings the week before that, but it wasn't his first time in the NFC Championship game. Guys, which other team did Doug Williams play in an NFC Championship game for?
He was on the team.
Is it A, Seattle Seahawks, B, Minnesota Vikings, C, San Francisco 49ers, or D, Tampa Bay Buccaneers? We're going to have video clues because that's the beauty of this, but Doug Williams wasn't just on Washington. He had another NFL team before then. Kyle, we'll start with you, go to Kay, and then we'll go to Nate.
Well, he was on the Buccaneers, but they wouldn't have been in a title game.
Might have been.
No. You know what? I have to go with D, though, because it's the only team I know he was on. But maybe he snuck on one of those other teams.
There's one more team than I knew he was on, so I'll go with D, Buccaneers.
Yeah, listen, I played for the Seahawks, played for the Vikings. I know the history of those teams. San Francisco 49ers, I do not remember seeing him in that jersey.
Which
so
means
I'm going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's C.
Process of elimination.
It is actually D. And Kyle, he started an NFC Championship game in '79. They lost to the Rams 9-0 in the NFC Championship. The Vince Ferragamo Rams.
Creamsicles.
Vince Ferragamo!
Vince Ferragamo. They were a upstart Buccaneers team. Of course, they lost all those games in 76 and 77 and 78. 79, they come out of nowhere. Doug Williams takes them to the NFC Championship game. Creamsicle Bucks, Bucko Bruce, the whole thing. Look at those highlights. Look at those uniforms. It's hard not to love that. And then, of course, Shaq Barrett at the Super Bowl parade was rocking the Doug Williams Buccaneers uniform. But yeah, they had that great year under John McKay way back when.
You know, I like this. There's fake news that Tampa was always terrible until they showed up and they had the whole Warren Sapp era. They weren't always terrible.
79. They
title game.
NFC title game.
I didn't know that.
They lost. Of course, 9-0. The Rams would win, and then the Steelers would beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
That's Mixed Bag Trivia, baby.
Great. Unbelievable. It's great.
CNC Music Factory. Hell, after the hits.
Susan Day.
Yeah. D-E-Y.
Why not? Okay, we've got so much to get to. There's headlines, there's sound that we gathered from training camps across the map. We've got action.